you doing? Oh, no problem. Nice to meet you. Morning, how are you?
Enjoy your time.
Thank you. Hi, how you doing? Thank you. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you. We'll go. There we go. Get the whole bunch. How you doing? Fantastic. Thank you. Okay. We're all ready? Timekeeper? Yeah? Time. Technology is changing the way that we live our lives and the way that we do business. So today I want to explore how we can create exemplary coffee experiences in a cafe environment using technology. Now, one of the most exciting ways we can use technology in the cafe is by building more immersive guest experiences. To that end, I built this table with 4 embedded displays that you can see in front of you. And it will act as a helpful guide through our time together today. And you'll see on those screens that your order for today has already come through. We're going to start with your espresso course, then move through milk and then signature drink, with each course using the same coffee. And if you keep an eye on there, we'll dig a little bit into the green that we're using today. So, it's a yellow bourbon from Cauca, Colombia, produced and processed by Wilton Benitez at 1,900 meters above sea level. Now that relatively high altitude means a slower maturation of the cherry and more complex sugar development. This, in tandem with the inherent complexity of the yellow bourbon cultivar, means that we're going to have really complex espressos. Now, Wilton is a forward-looking coffee producer and processor who uses fermentation to create exceptional cup profiles. This particular coffee is a washed process with 2 subsequent long fermentations. In the first of those fermentations, Wilton introduces Saccharomyces pastorianus. That's a yeast that's commonly used in beer production, and here is going to highlight fruity notes, bringing us the first flavor note of pink grapefruit. Now, I imagine that you're the kind of people who like to see a roast curve, so for our customer experience, I've embedded our roast curves onto the screens today in front of you. Now, I had 2 main objectives when it came to roasting this phenomenal green coffee. First, I wanted to preserve the vibrant acidity that I love about all of Wilton's coffees. To do this, I've used a 15% development time ratio. But I also wanted to be sure that the coffee is sufficiently sweet whenever we pull it as espressos. To do this, I've used a relatively short total roast time, extending the glass transition phase of the roast, and increasing solubility and porosity without compromising on either flavor clarity or body and texture. Now, doing both these things, accomplishing both these objectives, both lots of vibrancy in the cup and lots of sweetness, means that we can expect a structured and balanced taste experience. And structure and balance are really what I'm looking for whenever I'm dialing in this coffee. Today I'm using a recipe of 19.5 grams in, with a 50-gram yield, and a contact time of 29 seconds. This is achieving a 21% extraction. And our flavor notes resulting from this, which you'll see all on the screen in front of you, are as follows. We'll have that pink grapefruit note I've already mentioned, but also fresh nectarine and dried mango. Now, on our aftertaste, that pink grapefruit really carries through, but it's also joined by a note of baker's chocolate. For your tactile, which I'll give you in just a moment, but you'll see everything on screen. So for your tactile, look for a weight, which is medium, a juicy texture, and a finish which is medium to long. Now, judges, I most enjoy this coffee when it's cooled down a little bit, and of course with the crema fully incorporated. With that in mind, once I serve it to you, I'd ask that you use one of your clean teaspoons on the napkin in front of you to stir front to back 6 times, and then deposit your used teaspoon in the green glass. That's where your milk spoon will go as well later. Okay. Now, judges, we see here the power of technology to educate and inform, draw in the customer, and create better experiences for each guest. This can be tailored information dependent on our guests' level of knowledge and interest in coffee, and really demonstrates the power of technology in the cafe. Now, I'm going to serve these directly on the screens in front of you. I'm going to give you approximately 80 seconds to evaluate, so you can just relax and enjoy, and then we'll come together again for our milk course. Okay. So just to repeat those instructions, please stir front to back 6 times. And the spoons go just in those little green glasses. There we go. Sorry. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a purge. So another 30 seconds or so on those drinks, judges. So if we just bring our nose to the end, I'll give you another 15 seconds or so just to evaluate those. Okay, judges. Now, for our milk drink, I wanted to use technology to help me dial in my milk. So you'll see on your screens in front of you a demo of an application that I've been building for the past 6 months. Here's my description of the espresso, and in a moment you'll see my application's recommended fat and sugar content for any drink that we might choose to serve with this particular coffee. This is based on months of sensory research where my team and I have tasted a range of espressos, over 100, paired with a wide variety of milks, both traditional and alternative. We've scored those drinks in a similar way to how you're scoring them today, and used that data to train a basic but powerful machine learning model. This kind of technology can help baristas make key decisions. For example, how much fat and sugar content might be in a milk with any given espresso. But judges, you might rightly point out that there are many milks that might meet these high fat characteristics, helping support a great texture, and high sugar content, which of course supports sweetness in the cup. What I'm looking for whenever I'm dialing in, however, is to create a modern milk drink. Now, a traditional milk drink might be something with a lot of sweetness and a great texture. A modern milk drink has all of this, but also a balanced and structured acidity, which is more reflective of the hard work of the producer, and I would say more reflective of what we're looking for in specialty coffee. Now, that milk that I've chosen is from Minor Figures. It's an oat milk, which I freeze distilled to 70% of its original volume. I'm going to steam it to 60 degrees Celsius, which will cool whenever we stir it, and whenever it's incorporated with the espresso, to 48 degrees Celsius. This is the temperature at which I perceive the most vibrancy in the cup. Now, this is really demonstrative of the fact that we can use technology to create tools which better enable the barista to create exemplary experiences for our guests. However, we still need to go ahead and taste everything.
9 minutes.
Great, thank you. Now, what can we expect for this milk course in terms of flavor notes? Again, you'll see everything on the screen in front of you. For our flavor notes, we'll have maraschino cherry and marzipan. And in the aftertaste, you can expect custard cream biscuit. Now, when I serve this drink to you, I'd ask that you stir gently with your unused teaspoon 6 times in a circular motion to cool things down a little bit, but also to homogenize that beverage. Now, judges, for whatever reason, sometimes technology lets us down. So this course we're going to have without the sensory information. And this time I'll give you about 60 seconds to evaluate, and then we'll move on to our signature drink course. Thank you. Okay, so as I say, 60 seconds. I'll give you approximately 1 minute to evaluate. Please stir 6 times, just gently in a circular motion, and the spoons again go in these green glasses. Thank you. There we go. Thank you very much. There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Cheers. Judges. So just another 20 seconds or so, and then we'll come back together. Okay. Okay. So if we draw our notes to close, and then we'll move on to signature drink. So judges, for my signature drink, I wanted to use technology to help me be a little bit more creative. So I collaborated with an AI-powered chatbot, ChatGPT. I described to it my espresso, and we had a conversation about the kinds of balanced but coffee-forward signature drinks we could create. Now, ChatGPT was very enthusiastic, gave me a lot of new ideas, but I like to think that as a barista and a human, I was able to contribute tasting ability and common sense. This is the recipe that we came up with together, and I hope you're going to see everything on the screens in front of you. Not quite, but anyway. We begin with 4 single shots of espresso, which have been chilling in this hyperchiller, allowing us to rapidly drop the temperature without dilution. This is going to contribute that vibrant acidity I love about Wilton's coffees and serve as the base of this whole drink. Next, I'm adding 80 grams of a guava white chocolate consomme. To make this, I've pureed 300 grams of guava and then added 10 grams of pectin eggs. That's an enzyme which breaks down fiber in fruit, and here it's going to leave us with a translucent guava solution. To that solution, we add 100 grams of melted 36% Madagascan white chocolate. This contributes sweetness and body. And we also add 50 grams of beaten egg whites, which, when we boil the whole thing together, creates a raft at the top, which draws out any impurities, and we pass the whole thing through a paper filter and chill. This consomme modulates that pink grapefruit note into a new flavor note of orange Fanta, which persists into the aftertaste, but in the form of orange. Next, I've added 10 grams of a geisha blossom simple syrup made by brewing a single gram of geisha blossom in 100 grams of 40-degree water for 1 hour. Then I've strained it and combined the liquid part with equal parts sugar over a low heat until that sugar is dissolved. This helps balance the acidity and creates a pleasant herbal flavor note. That's what I'd like you to write down, pleasant herbal. I've charged the whole thing with nitrogen, pure nitrogen, to help create a long-lasting foam. I'm going to serve into these frozen glasses to achieve a drinking temperature of 14 to 16 degrees Celsius, at which I perceive the most flavor clarity. Now, I'd like you to hold these glasses by the stem, and before each of your 2 sips to evaluate, swirl 3 times just to incorporate that foam. Okay. So, this time your flavor notes are on the screen in front of you, and you have all the time you like just to evaluate this drink. Now, judges, we've seen a lot of what technology can do in the cafe, but we're not quite finished. Thank you. You see, every word that I've spoken today has been written either by or with the help of artificial intelligence in the form of ChatGPT. And yet, even with the help of AI, even with the help of technology, a great cafe truly relies on an exceptional barista with technology as the tool to draw customers in to a deeper relationship and a greater knowledge of specialty coffee. So I believe that in the hands of a good barista, we can have the most exceptional experience. Thank you. Time.